Record started time for me, 5 minutes, approximately, give or take. Hopefully, hopefully I'm not being overzealous. I'm using my settings I had earlier, so I'm just gonna assume that things are working properly. I got my notification. Let me click here, actually. I can hear it, I know the audio. I'm actually gonna stop this for me. 5 minutes. That's it. All right, so we're here, I'm gonna hit done. Let me check this one more time. Flag, let me get the student. Got it. Right here. I think I got him already. I let him in. A, B, C, D, E, F. E, F, G. There he is. Okay. Okay. That looks good. That looks good. I'm sharing my screen. So, all right. So, guys, let me let you guys in. I'm only letting you guys in because it's the first day. All right. As far as I'll tell you about how I do this momentarily. I'm just trying to get started because we don't have a lot of time together. Time is very, very precious. I think I'm gonna just close all this stuff. I mean, that's fine. That's simple things close. Okay. Start over. One right here. Log in. Verify. Okay. It's looking good. I'm seeing I need to see. All right. So let's start on Blackboard. We're going to go to Blackboard. That'll be our central hub for most of our communications. I think this is section 11. This is College Algebra with no online lab. You're not going to let me click on that one? Let's click here then. Okay. So if you've made it into this Zoom, then welcome. You got past the first hurdle, and that's making it to the class, right? Everybody is not so privileged, right? But it is what it is. Yeah, see, yeah, as I say that, I have a student trying to get in. He's gonna have to catch the recording. Okay, so this is College Algebra 1 with Mr. Phifer. I am Mr. Phifer. Let's hop here. What is this? Zoom? Okay, but that's okay. And let's actually start off with the syllabus. So when you log into Blackboard, this is the landing page. You should see this. All of our content is in that folder, College Algebra 1, but we're actually going to start with the syllabus on the left-hand panel, okay? As we go forward and as we go through the presentation and the orientation, if you have questions about anything or if anything is not clear, feel free to keep it to yourself. I'm just playing, that was a joke, right? It was a joke in poor taste. Hey, Google, change the light color to white. No, for real though. If you have a question about anything, feel free to unmute yourself to get my attention and we can talk about it. Or you're also welcome to type it in the chat in our Zoom chat. And I'm keeping an eye on that. And you know, that's another way to kind of get messages through. All right. So this is College Algebra 1. I'm Mr. Phifer. Best way to contact me is via email, my first name, last name at morehouse.edu. And you've made your way into our Zoom. So also, let me just reiterate, these sessions are recorded. For right now, I am live streaming these to my YouTube. So I try to be cognizant of your sensitive information. I try not to share your sensitive information as best as I can. You know, so I try to regulate that. Like usually I'll take attendance before I start streaming. I'll show you how to access my YouTube, right? And you definitely want to go ahead and subscribe to it with your notifications turned on. It's a shameless plug, but that's how I communicate with my students universally. Like when I start responding to questions, posting videos, and it's an invaluable resource for what we're going to be doing, right? It would be nice if I could see that. I don't know why that works sometimes and sometimes it doesn't. What if I do this? That's okay. It might be because I'm sharing my screen. I don't know. Anyway, let's see. So we meet, let me see a little bit about me. So I'm an alum of Morehouse. I graduated from Morehouse in 2006. I earned a Bachelor of Science in Mathematics, and then I earned my Master of Science in Mathematics from Florida Institute of Technology in 2011. So I don't have a doctorate. That's why I go by Mr. Phifer. In some circles, I go by Professor Charles, like Charles Xavier, because I do study stuff like that. But that's a side note. Yeah, but yeah, I'm a nature enthusiast. I love mathematics and hiking, exercise, martial arts, video games. So once you gain access to my YouTube, I try to put Easter eggs in there in the form of, I mean, we have a lot of powerful like, content as far as like lectures and things relevant to the course. But then I also like, because I'm a gamer, I will post like, that's honestly why I was a little bit late. And most days when I'm late, it's because I'm trying to wrap up a batch. I already knew when I started the batch, I didn't have enough time. So I had to leave them early. I just left them hanging. I was like, look, guys, I got to get to class. All right. So I just let them go. Like we were like down to the wire, but I was like, I got to go, guys. So I'll check when I leave you guys. How do we do? We were kind of losing though. So I don't think we're going to win that one. I'm going to have to go with it. I think that's correct. It's going to have to be correct.
I have a question.
Yes.
What game were you playing?
So right now, I limit myself to 3 games, and they're all mobile games. So the main game that I play is Mobile Legends. It's like a 5-on-5 battle royale, capture the flag style game. So that's a lot of fun. I'm actually applying a lot of stuff that we talk about. I just don't do it like, I'm not breaking out paper and pencil, but the game is all about rhythm, timing, frequency, angles, geometry, the principles of chess. So if you ever study chess, you can use a lot of that stuff in these dynamic games. And then a lot of the concepts that I actually apply, they actually carry over into reality in the form of like war strategy, economics, systems, cues. Like it's so many different applications of the different dynamics that go on. And honestly, in all the games, because another game that I play is it's called Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. So that was all about RNG, which is like random number generated. So it requires minimal skill and mostly like it's the RNG luck or the random number generated luck. So that's like probability and stuff like that. Especially if I have a sense of the stats, then sometimes I'll exploit it. But a lot of that is out of your control. You don't really have a lot of control. That's more relaxing. And then the last game that I play is Survivor.io. It's like that one's also like geometry, angle, rhythm, frequency, timing. A lot of stuff that we talk about. So it's a lot of fun. I do intend to do research on that and like extend. I have a lot of ideas. A crap ton of ideas.
What's your favorite weapon on Survivor.io?
That's a good question. It depends on what I'm really trying to do. It's a toss-up between the what is it called? That black hole thing. And I just upgraded it where you can like the black holes merge. So it gets massive, like the whole screen turns into a giant black hole by the time I'm done with it. Because I'll maximize, and it depends on what I'm trying to do. Sometimes I build them like a tank. Sometimes I go for damage. So it's really a toss-up between the black hole and the ninja shuriken. Because when you evolve that, I mean, you can do high damage from across the screen, right? So you can be kind of in a safe space and do it. We can talk more about that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's what I do. And for me, everything is mathematics, right? It's like for instance, if you go to Zoom right now and like you guys have reactions at the bottom, let me see some of the reactions. So like, if you like mathematics, like raise your hand. If you don't like mathematics, you can do like the laughing emoji, all right? So just in Zoom, real quick, if you guys could, if you like mathematics, go ahead and raise your hand. And if you don't like mathematics, put the laughing emoji. I see plenty of hands raised. Oh, there we are. Okay, now I can see this. I see plenty of hands, right? I don't see any laughing emojis. It's okay. This is a safe space, right? But the rebuttal is, if for people that don't like the mathematics, then I'll follow up with, well, do you like money? Do you like music? Do you like video games? Do you like movies or reading or traveling or food or being at home? Do you like anything? If you like anything, then you're actually a math genius, because everything is an expression. Everything can be expressed mathematically. I still can't find anything that can't be expressed mathematically, right? So we'll get into some of these concepts for algebra and see how we can relate them to our loves and our passions. But I'm the type of person that tries to encourage people to nurture your passion, like whatever it is. Like if you didn't have to work, if you didn't have to go to school, if you didn't have to worry about money, food, and shelter, what would you do with your time, right? So for me, I would be gaming, I would be doing landscaping, I would be doing martial arts, traveling adventure, laughing, telling jokes, telling stories. And that's the stuff that I do anyway, right? In some trains of thoughts, we're already in eternity, right? It's like if you do it from a Christian viewpoint, then that's heaven and hell. And like if you look at time, to me, time doesn't exist in the sense that it's a man-made construct, and it's just something that we use so that we can be in sync, right? But if you look at like squirrels and animals, like we're like the only beings that pay to live to eat and have clocks, but everything else just kind of harmonizes with the seasons or the cycles. So you have the different seasons and cycles and climates and temperatures and things like that. But as far as I'm concerned, it feels like we're already in eternity. Don't get me started on all that stuff because I will just go and go and go. Okay. But this is all mathematics as far as I'm concerned. It's all mathematics. And so what we're going to be doing in this course, and I'm pretty sure I have some people in the waiting room. Let me see the time. Let me check it one more time. And I'm going to mention something about this. Let me try to get these gentlemen. Because I'm being a little bit lax today because we're just getting started, obviously, and I don't expect you guys to have it all the kinks worked out. HIJK, I don't see this student. Oh, let me go to G. There he is.
Morehouse.
Also, let me see if I can find the student first. I don't know who he is because I am not seeing his last name. Okay, there. Oh, okay. Welcome back. Okay. Okay. So there was one person I let in. It said Zoom user guest. You haven't gotten attendance credit because I don't know who you are. So you definitely want to either like in the chat, just say, hey, and and so as a rule of thumb, it's a good idea, for these Zoom sessions to show your student name. So that way I can make sure you got attendance credit because there's only one student in the chat right now who hasn't gotten attendance credit just because I don't know who they are. But everybody else, I found you on my roster, so you've gotten your credit. I got you. Let me update my attendance. I'm glad we had this moment because I almost forgot. I meant to say something and I just got off on the roll. Okay, I got you. All right, that looks good. I know that looks good, and I like that I can see myself, so that helps out. Okay. So yeah, I really am a philosopher, a philanthropist, that kind of energy. But we are here to do a job, here to do a task. So let's try to focus and do what we need to do. Again, you made it past the first overall hurdle of finding your way into our Zoom. Let me see. I think that's better. Okay, and let's go like this. So you made it into the Zoom, which is the first challenge. And we meet here in this Zoom Mondays and Wednesdays from 2 to 2:50. So we don't have a lot of time. Like even right now, we have just over 30 minutes remaining. That goes by in the blink of an eye, right? So with that being said, the way we're going to run the course, this is a remote asynchronous course, right? So what that means is that we're still going to meet during our scheduled times on Mondays and Wednesdays, but most of the learning is done on your own, right? And I'll show you the pertinent tools that you need. I'll position you for success. You just got to follow through, right? I'll show you the pertinent tools that you need so that you can, do what you need to do. But let's try to get to the syllabus and I'll show you those tools and then we'll be on our way. It did. Oh, he made it in, Mr. I found you. So I just got your email, but I also got that you got into the session, so you're good to go. Monday and Wednesday is 2 to 2:50. No lab for you all, so you're good to go there. This course runs from August 16th until December 8th via Zoom. That QR code may or may not work, but as long as you have that meeting ID, then you should be able to get in, right? And again, I'm kind of preaching to the choir because you guys are already in my Zoom. These sessions, if you joined us late, these sessions are being recorded and I am live streaming to my YouTube. Can I go like this? I don't even really know what's going to show, but I'm not going to worry about it for now. What am I using to stream? I think I'm using that. Yeah, it's going to have to be okay. Let's see. So my office hours are Monday and Wednesdays from 10 to noon via Zoom, other times by appointment. So If you just need to show up and ask questions, you can use that. But really, the way I intend to structure this, the way this is structured is that, honestly, we can use class time as office hours. I'm still going to hold those office hours, but we can work on pretty much anything that we want during class. Like we can work on homework or quizzes or exams or, lectures, right? Anything pertaining to this course, we can talk about it during class time. Because again, most of the learning is done on your own. Also, students in my other classes have definitely started a group meet. I encourage it. I think it's a fantastic idea. So I just want to kind of plant that seed. If y'all want to do a group meet, I think it's a great idea. Each one teach one. Since most of the learning is done on your own, and if I'm not available, then maybe you can like connect with one of your classmates, especially classmates that get it. And for the ones that are getting it, it serves you as well, because when you can kind of teach this to somebody else, then that makes you learn it even better, right? That's one of the learning modalities. That's honestly how I learned a lot of this stuff, because I was a tutor, and then I just never stopped tutoring, right? Okay, let's move forward. So hopefully we're all aboard and we're not all bored. Yeah, so best way to reach me is my email, which is my first name, last name at morehouse.edu. I get notifications for emails, but I'm not gonna lie, I totally get like overwhelmed with my emails. So what that means is that it's still a good idea to email me if you have questions, comments, or concerns. If I don't respond promptly, then just bring it up during class the next time we meet. Because again, class time essentially is like office hours. Right now, I do intend to like live stream these sessions to my YouTube channel. Again, I'll show you how to access the YouTube momentarily. But you still want to show up and make sure you're getting your attendance credit. If you miss something right now, you can always go back to my YouTube to pull it. There's going to be two main playlists that you want to be able to access, and I'll show you that towards the end, a little bit later on. There are two types of people in this world: those that believe they can and those that believe they cannot. Both are correct. Which one are you? Which one are you? Henry Ford, right? I think that's a true statement, so that's why I like to share it. Prerequisite is a placement exam or a C or better in prep math 2. That prep math thing, I think they got rid of those, so I think it's the placement exam. And if you like needed more support, I think they created the College Algebra with the online lab. So you guys don't have to worry about that. These are just details about the course that you can read through on your own as far as like learning objectives, what we intend to talk about graphs and nuances there, applied problems, polynomial functions with applications, math modeling, exponential functions, linear equations, things of this nature. Okay. So this is another relevant piece of information right here. All right. So let me see. For you all, because you do not have a lab, you can ignore. That's why I blocked out the red parts. You can just ignore the red parts. Your grade is going to consist of the purple parts, right? So homework is going to count for 10% of our grade. Quizzes and classwork is 10%. Our exams, I think there are 3 exams and a final. So the 3 exams total to 60% of your overall grade, and the final is 20% of your overall grade. And then the grading scale, 90s are A's, 80s are B's, so on and so on. At Morehouse, officially passing a course is getting a C, and for our discussion, that's rated a 70. If you start getting, and I typically don't give out C minuses, right? Because that's kind of like, that's grimy, right? If a student earns a C minus, try to find some way to, because they usually just need like 1 point. They gotta like just submit something to cover that. But I usually don't give out C minuses. But some programs will allow you to move forward with a D, but many will not, right? So, but if you get a C, most programs, like I don't know a program that won't let you move forward if you earn a C. So we'll do our best to keep as many people away from that DF range and as many people on the left-hand side as possible. Okay, let's kind of keep moving forward a little bit. What's the time? Are they, again, if you have questions, feel free to or type in the chat. I am a student here. He can't get on Zoom. The course ID, let me tell him. The meeting ID is on Blackboard. Let me share this real quick. Give me just a moment. That is like, just give me a moment. Morehouse. Where is it? So I can't do this for each student. I can't find it. Here, this one. Give me just a moment. Invite, copy invitation link. Can I just paste? There it is. And let me paste again. And that is indeed the meeting ID. Come on. Because again, our time is precious. Let me see. I'm gonna say meeting ID. Oh, come on. Okay. So we're gonna go with that. Let me get these gentlemen. All right. So when it comes to like attendance and things of that nature, let me get these gentlemen. Come on. And I got him already. He must keep getting kicked out or something. All right, cool. All right. So let's hop back. We left off here. All right. So as a general rule of thumb, again, because our time is so precious, like we're here, you snap your fingers and then the class is over, right? So the way I usually do attendance, I do the best I can to try to take attendance right at the start of class, right? So if class starts at 2, I might start taking attendance maybe 5 minutes before the start of class, and I'll get that first wave of students. Once I get to that first wave, I kind of ignore my waiting room until the 15-minute mark. I'll give students full attendance credit for that second wave at the 15-minute mark. So at the 15 minutes, after I get everybody in attendance from there, if you show up like at 30 minutes after or something like that, I may or may not let you in, and you may or may not get attendance credit, right? And that's a great segue into this next part. With this being a 2-credit course, we're allowed up to 2 unexcused absences, right? So once we hit that 3rd unexcused absence, then, you know, we could be potentially dropped from the course, and then that can really mess with our money. And then we might have trouble getting back into the course, right? So as a general rule of thumb, and again, I'm kind of lax today because this is obviously our first day. We're still trying to hammer out kinks and things of that nature. So it's okay. Like if you made it into the Zoom, I know I just added like 1 or 2 gentlemen. You got your attendance credit. I know another gentleman is trying to get in. You know, I'm not gonna like penalize him for today because I acknowledge that today is the first day. So we're just trying to get started. But again, my sessions are recorded. This is being recorded and live streamed to my YouTube. Again, I will show you how to access the YouTube momentarily. But yeah, we talked about attendance. Okay, so that's here we have the content and like the materials we're going to go through, so you can go through that on your own. We'll talk about the book in just a moment. And so this here is pretty good. This is pretty much our schedule for the semester, right? So week 1, we'll focus on section 1.1, graphs and equations, right? I'll tell you a little bit more about that momentarily. Next week is section 1.2, and basically each week we're going to be doing 1 section. So all these sections that you see, I'm going to provide a link for you where the full recordings for each of those sections is already available. You already have access to the lectures. Like if we were actually doing the lecture in person and, you know, we were going through the material live, I went on and made a recording of all that, and I put it in a playlist on my YouTube channel. And so we already have a pre-recorded lecture for all of these. Additionally, once we figure out how to access the homework, I went on and posted all the homework and quizzes for the entire semester, right? So what that means is that you can go to my YouTube, go ahead and make sure you're subscribed with your notifications turned on. And again, I'll show you how to access that momentarily. But you can watch those lectures right now, take notes as if you're in class. You can actually go ahead and start on your homework. And honestly, you know, you can honestly finish the homework for the semester. Now, I don't think I've ever had a student actually finish it like that, but you can like take this material and sit down with the tutors. And you know, you say, hey, do you mind if we go line by line and work on this together? And you can finish all the homework. The only thing I staggered the release of the exams. So I think the exams release every like 4 weeks. So during week 4 is exam 1. During week 2 is exam 2, which is essentially your midterm. Week 4, 8, and then week 12 is exam 3. And then after that is going to be the final, right? So let me just let's pause right there. But yeah, again, so all lectures for the semester are available. Not able to get in. Oh, okay. That means he's here, right here. Is that not the right meeting ID? That's definitely the right meeting ID. Because I did it from here. I don't know. He's here. Let me check the chat. Yeah, I'll share that in just a moment on my YouTube. I don't know what to tell him. Yeah. Okay, because everybody else is here and we're here not live, and I'll get them situated. Let's hop back here. So yeah, the recordings are available right now for the semester. I'll show you how to access that in just a moment. All homework and quizzes are available. You can actually finish all homework and quizzes right now. With all of our assignments on My Math Lab, we get unlimited attempts. There's an inherent extension built into all assignments. So the system is set to take our highest score. If you submit anything late, there's a 10% late penalty. So the highest we can earn is a 90. But again, everything is available shy of the exams. If you have questions, just write it down because we're actually almost done with, you can put it in the chat. We're almost done with the syllabus and we'll pause and then touch on some other items. So there's homework assigned basically for homework is due on a weekly basis. So for instance, section 1.1, which is for week 1, along with this corresponding quiz, is due at the start of class on Monday. All right, so today is Wednesday. I'll show you how to access it, but it's already due for this upcoming Monday. And there's a little bit more we need to talk about there. But again, assignments are due on a weekly basis, and the exams are week 4, week 8, and week 12, and then the final. So again, there'll be 3 exams and a comprehensive final. Makeup policy, again, I went on to build an automatic extension into all assignments. So even though the assignments are due on a weekly basis, we get unlimited attempts. The system is set to take our highest score, but if we submit anything late, the highest we can earn is a 90, right? And sometimes I have students do that. I do not recommend it, but I've had students wait until the very last second. They submit everything just before that hard deadline of that Friday, December 8th. And it was enough for me. I gave them the credit. They either got C's or B's because it's really difficult to get an A if you're submitting things late because the highest you can earn is a 90. But yeah. So automatic extension built into all assignments. We have these holidays here. So because we do meet on Mondays, that will affect us some. But again, all of our learning is done on your own or individually. Again, I think a group me is a great idea. I would encourage it. You can also take this material and sit down with the tutors. Everybody needs to submit their own work. Withdrawal policy, you might want to make a note of that. It's Monday, October 23rd. We have the Thanksgiving holiday, last day of class, final exam. We've talked about attendance. With the disability services, if you need any kind of special accommodations, you get unlimited attempts, But if you do need any kind of accommodations, you can contact that number and they'll give you a letter that you can email me discreetly and we can make sure that you're accommodated however you need to be. With it being remote, the cell phone thing, it is what it is, right? But the main thing is that you want to be sure that you're learning something. If you just get somebody else to do this for you, then it doesn't serve you. This happens all the time where students finish my course, are I never had to look at mathematics again, and then they finish school, they graduate, they go to their first job interview, and what the first thing that they get at the job interview? The first thing they give them is a math exam, right? So if you don't learn anything from this experience, then, that's just going to be another block. You would have just wasted your time and money, right? It doesn't serve you. So just do the best you can. Again, you have a lot of support. I'm here to support you. You have your brothers, your classmates. You have Pearson and these online materials. You have honestly, with Pearson, you have explanations for each question right there with each question. You also have the tutors. The tutoring service is included in your tuition, right? So they're just waiting for you guys to show up. So you have the tutoring that's available. And then you have my office hours and things of that nature, okay? I'm going to leave that be. And this last part of the syllabus, it's just a document saying that you've gone through the syllabus and you understand what's expected of you out of the course and that you'll abide by the rules of the course. Normally, I would have you fill this out and turn it in. Just keep it on file because I don't have a place for you to. I don't have a Dropbox just yet set up for you to load this, so you can kind of keep this for now. If you have questions, feel free to unmute yourself and we can talk about it or type it in the chat. Let's actually answer the question of how do we access the My Math Lab and how do we access my YouTube, right? So for those items, if we hop back over to Blackboard, right? So when we log into Blackboard, right? Where is it? Yes. So when we log into Blackboard, this is our landing page. It looks like this, right? This is our central hub for everything. This is how we access the Zoom, and everything is there. So let's go like this. Let me check one more time. 9458. Oh, he's in here. Oh, he just popped out. Oh, I didn't realize. Let me tell him. Let me say, hey. Okay. I just saw you pop out of my waiting room. Try again. Okay. All right. So yeah, I need a notification when people are in the waiting room. I didn't know that he was actually trying to access my waiting room. Let me see. Can I see it here? That would be nice. I can't see it there. Okay. Close. Morehouse. Okay. So, gentlemen, I do want to bring to your attention, we just got a special guest that just got into the chat. So we actually have the chair of the mathematics department in the chat right now. He just joined our session. It's Dr. Curtis Clark. He was my professor when I was a student, and he's a really powerful guy, like a really intelligent. He's like, he kind of like got me with programs and things when I was a student and just like all sorts of like interesting things. I know I had one student that we had a question for Dr. Clark. I don't know if you can kind of like come on the call or not. But we had a question about like when the tutors would become available, and I was encouraging them to contact you to find out about the tutoring, how to connect with the tutors. Dr. Clark, are you on the call? You able to unmute yourself? I don't know if you can hear me. He's there. It might not be Dr. Clark. It might be his son too. That's a possibility too, because they kind of hear. But okay, we're gonna let that be for now. So maybe I don't know if you can hear me. Okay, so let me see the time. We got right under 10 minutes. We really don't have that much time left. Okay, so let's start with the homework, right? So with the homework, we're using this platform that's called My Math Lab. In Zoom, with the reactions, just by a show of hands, if you just raise your hands, how many people have like used My Math Lab before, right? So in Zoom, you can like raise your hand. There's a little yeah, I see at least one person. If you've used My Math Lab before and it's the same. You. Yes, Dr. Clark. Dr. Clark, you there? Okay, we're just gonna go with it. If you've used My Math Lab before and it's the exact same book, then if you log in with, and to access My Math Lab, it's this third folder that says assignments. So let's open this up. And the first item that says My Math Lab, all assignments, you would click on that. So if you've used My Math Lab before and it's the same book, you can actually click on that first link, log in with your old credentials, and you should not have to pay for it again, right? You can actually just use those same credentials and it should be full access. If you are having to create a new account or if you've never used this book before, for right now, you want to still click on that first link, follow the prompts to register as a student. You definitely want to register using your Morehouse credentials, but then on the page where you're prompted to pay, at the bottom of that screen, you want to click on the Get 14 Days of Temporary Access. I want to say My Math Lab costs about $120. So off to the side, you want to just set like about $130. Because if you have free access for 2 weeks, You definitely want to just use the temporary access because we got an email in the night that Morehouse was trying to negotiate a price reduction since you guys have to purchase access to Pearson. They're trying to negotiate a price reduction, but assignments are already posted, right? So you're still responsible for things that are already there, right? So again, on the page where we're prompted for payment, at the bottom of that page, there's going to be a link that says get 14 days of temporary access. Go ahead and click on that. And then once you get past the payment page, and also be sure to set about $130 to the side. It shouldn't cost that much, but just set it to the side so you can be ready. Once you get past the payment page, then this will pop up. And so you can see basically the due dates for each assignment. You see week 1 over section 1.1 with the homework and the corresponding quiz. Those are both due this upcoming Monday at the start of class. Uh-oh, can you guys hear me? Yeah, Dr. Clark. He got to turn your volume up because if you guys can hear me, I can't stop.
So I have a question.
Give me just a moment. Just hang tight. So yeah, so these are the homework and quizzes that are available on my math lab. They're already available for the entire semester with the corresponding due dates. And then notice it goes from week 3 to week 5. That's because week 4, that's where exam 1 pops up. Week 8 is where exam 2 pops up. Week 12 was where exam 3, and then eventually the final exam will pop up here. So that's going to be my math lab. I know there's a question. There's one more piece of information I need to kind of bring to your attention. The other thing from Blackboard, so when we log in, right? So we talked about the homework and go ahead and get the temporary access. And I'm just doing this because we're almost out of time. The final piece that you need is my YouTube channel, which is here, right? So this link, my YouTube is called Beautiful Mind Phifer. And basically, I mostly use it as like a catalog of like my interactions with students throughout the years, honestly. But this link that I put here, let's click on it and let's see what happens. Okay, that should be okay. Yes, right? So when we click on that link, it takes us directly into a playlist where this playlist is it's basically the full recording for each section, right? So for section 1.1, any and everything that I would say if I was doing a full lecture, I put it in that video. Anything that I would say for any of these sections is in each of these videos. So you can actually watch these videos, take notes as if you're in class, and you can actually pretty much get through the entire semester at your own pace. My recommendation is to finish this stuff as soon as possible. You don't want to try to wait till the last minute because you can get jammed. One other thing is when I do start like posting PDFs and things of that nature, that's where this folder number 2, the daily PowerPoint lecture slides, I'm going to drop them into that box link. So if you click there, you can find like handouts and things of that nature. Okay, I know we had a few questions. We're essentially out of time. We have a couple of minutes remaining. There was one question. I don't know if you want to go ahead and ask it. Maybe it got answered. I'm going to let Dr. Clark know the students can hear me. I would say check your volume settings. Or did you connect your audio? Okay. So did anybody want to ask any questions?
So the instructions to the My Lab are all on the Blackboard.
The instructions, yeah, essentially yes, right? So if you go to Blackboard and here, like again, when you access Blackboard, this is our landing page. It looks like this, right? And you open up that folder. And then if you go down to item number 3 for assignments, we open up that folder. And then you really just want to click on that first link. Also with My Math Lab, once you get full access, it also comes with a digital e-textbook. So it has a digital copy of the entire book. So you don't have to carry around a physical hard copy book. You can actually access the book from there. There's more features about My Math Lab, but I think we're going to save that for another time. Mr. Shepherd or Mr. Blue, whoever would like to go next.
I
Or
had-
Dr. Yes, go ahead.
Oh,
You good, you good.
okay. So can you repeat those exam dates one more time? So I had week 12, that's exam 3.
Yeah, so for instance, when we go into my math lab, right?
Right.
And you see how it says like week 1, week 2, week 3, and then it skips week 4 and it's week 5?
Yeah.
It's skipping week 4 because week 4 is exam 1
Got you. Week 4.
over sections 1, 1, 1, 2, and 1, 3. It skips week 8 because that's exam 2, essentially from the beginning up to this. I mean, you can't really do 1, 4, 1, 5, and 1, 6 without knowing the first part, right? Kind of by default, math is cumulative. Similar for week 12 because week 12 is exam 3 and then the final.
So, okay, and then one other question. How did you access, because I probably wasn't here before due to technical difficulties.
It's
How
okay.
did you access that platform?
My math lab.
Yes, one more time. Could you show that one more time?
So my math lab, if we go to the landing page on Blackboard, right here. Yeah. So when you log into Blackboard, you'll see this. My math lab is basically item number 3, assignments. And then you can click on the first link, My Math Lab, all assignments. Again, when it comes to My Math Lab, when we get on that landing page, when you're prompted for payment, for right now, we want to get at the bottom of that screen, there's going to be a link that says get 14 days of temporary access. And so we want to go ahead and use that because, Mr. Shepherd, did you have a question? Yes.
So just to double check, so class will kind of be used, as office hours more so, and it's up to us to do like the notes and our homework and quizzes on our own time.
Essentially, yes, right? So most of the learning is done on your own. So I showed you how to access the full lectures, right? Because anything that I would say, I went on and just recorded it and made it available. I did dedicated videos specifically for each section. So you can watch those at your leisure, take notes as if you're in class, and then you'll be ready to do the corresponding homework, again, done on your own. And again, we only have 50 minutes, twice a week. So that goes by quick. So we have to do something of this nature. You have to kind of study on your own. I do encourage you all to like maybe have a group meet or seek out the tutors. I don't know if Dr. Clark, were you able to get the audio working, Dr. Clark? Are you still there?
Yes, I got it. But a student here is saying he's having problems. He could probably talk with you later.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. So yeah, it's just and it's fine. So the first day, I understand, we're just trying to figure out how to get all the stuff working. So as long as we're in communication, it's okay. Again, this is being recorded.
He's
So
recording.
I'll show you how to access the recording. I'm going to mute everybody really quickly. Oh, where'd it go? I think it's good now. Curtis Clark, let him back in. Maybe I don't know. Were there any other burning questions? Any other burning questions? Let me see. I'm gonna just go here for now. I think that was it. So let me do a quick recap on what I think is pertinent, and then we'll go separate ways. So again, Blackboard is going to serve as our main central hub. You got past the first task of finding your way to my Zoom, right? So the information is here. That's not really a link. You have to type all, what is that? 6 and 6, 12, 13, all 13 digits, right? The 810 to find the Zoom. But yeah, you made it into my Zoom. So that's the first hurdle. Second hurdle is getting access to my math lab. So right now, I encourage everyone, if you don't have the full access from the past, go ahead and get the 14 days of temporary access. So that's folder or item number 3. And then my YouTube is beautiful, my Phifer, that has my full recordings. Also, it's going to be 2 main playlists. So this takes you to the main playlist for the lectures. I'm creating another link, another playlist for basically these kind of sessions. So I'm going to put all my interactions with all my students into one playlist for the fall of 23. So there's going to be 2 main playlists to use on my YouTube. Are there any other burning questions going once, going twice? Or forever hold your peas and rice before we kind of go separate ways. Okay.
One last question. So as I click all assignments, it brings me to this called Pearson. Is that it?
Yep. Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So just follow the prompts, register as a student. when they ask you for payment, at the bottom of that screen, there's a link that says get 14 days of temporary access. You click on that and you should be in there. Okay, gentlemen. So that was fantastic. We're right on time. If there aren't any other burning questions, we're going to go ahead and end the session here. And we'll meet again Monday, same time, same place. Keep in mind, we already have the first homework and quiz that's due this upcoming Monday at the start of class on Pearson, right? So with that, we're going to end the session here. And from one beautiful mind to another, have a great weekend. Take care. See you. Peace.
Likewise. Have a good one.
Have a good one.
You as well.
Have a good one.
Okay. Dr. Clark, are you still there?
Yes, Charles, can you talk for a few minutes with this gentleman that's here?
Give me just a moment. Let me stop the stream.
Please do.
Yeah, let me see. That's here.